wicked.
Yeah.
Wow.
So just give it a look.
Yeah, I will, man. I will. Thank you.
Sí, claro. Because you can tell when someone does martial arts in movies. You can tell if it's practice or he's a martial artist.
Oh, yeah, you can.
You can.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Could you tell if I was? Probably
Yes,
not.
That's why. That's why I asked you.
Oh, you right. I thought you were asking because you thought I wasn't.
No, no, no. That's why. So, what did you think when Vin Diesel called you and said, "I want to be the main villain"?
Oh, well, Vin didn't call me.
No?
It was the director that called me, yeah.
Oh.
Justin Lin called me, and it was a very nice phone call to have. I was still in New Zealand at the time, so I was still in Middle Earth in my head. It was just quite an interesting place to be. And then getting a phone call from Justin and getting the role was great. And we immediately got to work on creating a character, a bad guy that was, was a real threat, a real legitimate threat to the team. Somebody who could stand up to the team and the family and Dom in a way that would really challenge them and challenge everything that they stood for.
Did you see Owen because Vin Diesel it's very cerebral, very intelligent. What's your input in terms of the backstory of the character? Because it's never mentioned. So
Yeah, no, I mean there's a huge backstory
Yeah.
that he has, but it's more about what's not said about his character that actually makes him more interesting. It's because you leave a lot of the backstory to the audience to decide. But I knew I knew my backstory. My backstory is about he's this ex special ops soldier that's gone bad basically, and he's a real villain. He's a serious criminal mastermind. He's very, very rich because of what he does, and he's ruthless. He's very cold. He's very calculating. He doesn't believe in this family motto. He's the complete opposite, the complete antithesis of what Dom Toretto and Brian and all of those family, those people stand for.
And did you look at other villains, other movie villains for inspiration? Or?
I guess there are certain villains that I would have probably had in my mind, in my subconscious, that I was drawing on, but I wouldn't say there was a specific bad guy that I sort of targeted and used, but I definitely had things in my head that I was pulling on. And also, everybody wants to play a bad guy once in their life, and I think I'd always wanted to play a really, really good bad guy, somebody that was well written, and a guy that was really, had a good script and good body of language to talk about, and he did. He had all of those things. So.
And as the movie itself is a great throwback to the old days of old school action, because it's very practical. It's very 80s in terms of how it's filmed. So did you talk about Justin about that?
Yeah, I mean, Justin wanted to make sure that all the fight sequences that he had in the film, that Owen had, they'd look real, that he could have actually taken on Dom Toretto. And so you'll notice that a lot of the time Owen is not using his fists, he's using his legs, because there's more power in his legs, and kicks, there's more power. And you wouldn't really want to get too close to Toretto, because a couple of those punches would have knocked him out. So you notice that he's always sort of pushing him back and all of those things, and keeping him as far from himself as possible. And that was great, because that just made me more reassured me that what you saw on the screen would then look believable, as if this was a real fight, this is how he would fight.
You're a martial artist, so it was your input to use the kicks. I said, okay, I can do kicks. Let me build the character like that.
Exactly. Well, I started training for a movie which I didn't do just before I did The Hobbit, and I started to train to do Thai kickboxing. So I was already quite sort of supple, and I have a background in theater, and so I used to be able to do quite a lot of physical stuff. So I sort of utilized all of that. I wouldn't say I was a martial artist. I mean, that's a very nice thing for you to say, but you sound like you're a martial artist. I'm a martial painter. I'm halfway there, but I really enjoyed it, and I do like to learn new things. And this was an amazing part of the training, was to learn how to kick, and how to kick really high, and keep your balance and your core strength and all of that stuff, which I've used, and it kept me in really great shape. So yeah, it's a great thing.
And next year you're gonna be The Hobbit, Part 2 and 3, and then in Dracula. So So, do you look forward to play another villain? Or what's
Well, you know, the story is about the origins of Dracula. So, you know, not many people really know the origins of Dracula. This is a fantastic story, and we get to set the record straight and tell a story about how Vlad the Impaler became Dracula. So it's a fantastic story, and there's a lot of layers to the story. There's a lot of strong storylines that are going on, and so yeah, it's he's not essentially a villain like I've just played. He's very different.
You were in Immortals, you were in Clash of the Titans, were sort of action movies. What's the differences between filming those movies and Justin Lin's
Well,
style?
I had more clothes on for a start. Yeah.
Is that better?
Well, it depends what sort of clothes. Actually, you know, the jeans they had to wear when I was doing the fight sequence, the fighting with Vin, I had to have spandex on the inside of my jeans so that I could stretch my legs. Because normal jeans don't let you, as you probably know.
Everybody knows.
You can't fight in normal jeans. So all my denim had to be put spandex in them and stuff like that. But no, it was a very different form of fighting than the fighting I'd done for Immortals. Immortals, I used like big chains, and you know, it was all very huge and dramatic. Whereas this was very real, you know. So yeah, very enjoyable.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Nice to meet you, man.
Thank you. Nice
Take
to
care.
meet you too. Very fun.